And just before we get started with episode 67 of Superstar Spotlight, I want to thank all the great sponsors I got out here. Some great people. Ian30 doing my intros, outros, Facebook Reels. We just did a DMU top 15 death matches of 2025. Lots of great bangers on that one. Go support Ian. And also go support the Skittle Squad as well. Shout out my boy Lil Skittle doing the thing over in his Discord server every week. Keeping it strong for the whole gang. Come see what you're missing out on in the Skittle Squad. We also got Pookie wrestlers outside the Canadian region. Shout out Pookie for making all these great Pookie-fied wrestlers just like this one. Coming in sticker form soon. We also got the Bocce Boys, who at the moment are actually currently live. Literally right after this interview, I will be going and hanging out with the Bocce Boys on their Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube stream. Come hang out on that. Buy the merch. I got a flag right behind me. I got plenty of t-shirts, stickers, patches, all that good stuff. And last but not least, Jeff the Cat has arrived, my co-host, the Ultraviolet Feline, right in time for me to introduce Beat Up Photos, our last greatest sponsor. Shout out Becca doing the thing with all of the photography work. Book a cool photographer, do some cool photography things. And my guest for the evening, an absolute deathmatch frickin' legend. And I know a lot of people are thinking, oh, your Madman Pondos, your Necro Butchers, your JC Baileys, your Brain Damages. This gentleman falls right into the category with all of those men. I am talking about Mr. Insanity. Toby Klein is here in the Soup Kitchen Studios. Toby, how are you doing on this lovely evening?
Oh, I'm doing great. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you, too. We are in the deems of the holidays. And Toby, I'm going to kick this one off we're going to get in the Christmas spirit with this one. Toby Klein, what is your favorite Christmas movie?
Silent Night, Deadly Night.
That's a good pick, right? I'm assuming you're a big horror guy.
Or part 2, Garbage Day.
Garbage Day! Yes! Oh, yes. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, Silent Night, Deadly Night. That's the one with Bill Goldberg, if I'm correct.
Oh, no. This is 1980.
No, that's the other one.
Silent Night, Deadly Night came out in 1984, the original. Maybe even earlier than that.
I do remember the Garbage Day reference, though, but I forgot that's not the one with Bill Goldberg. That's a different one. Anyway.
Bill Goldberg was in something Sleigh. Santa's Sleigh.
Santa's Sleigh, yeah. That was the one. But we also actually got another movie-related question, a fan-submitted question as well. Toby Klein, tell us about Cinema Wasteland.
Oh, yeah. That was a very fun experience. That was several years. Every time Cinema Wasteland would come to Strongsville, Ohio, it was a horror movie convention at the Holiday Inn. And every time that they would have it there, they would have Mr. Insanity's Hardcore Wrestling Hour. And it would be me and 42nd Street Pete, one of the hosts of the event. And we would show hardcore wrestling matches and do live commentary for a theater full of people watching. And it would always be a wide variety of death matches, some from Japan, some from early on in the Americas, but it always, sometimes it would include matches that I was in, but it was just a wide variety of death matches that Pete would pick, and we would do live commentary during the event.
Absolutely. That is so cool, especially and that's what I love about the wrestling and the conventions. Like, you see all the wrestling Comic-Cons, some wrestlers popping up at the horror conventions, but that's honestly doing commentary over the older matches and being like, and especially if it's one of your matches too, you can give little pointers at too, like, oh man, that really, really hurt. I can still feel that from just now with these hits from the Necro Butcher with the VCRs and all that. And
he didn't hit me with it. I hit him with it.
No, yeah, I got that stoner brain, Toby Klein. But hey, that is, yeah. Oh, we got one of the cats going on. We got all the cats down here today. My goodness. But also, Toby Klein, I gotta know, and so does a fan. His thoughts on what DBA had a hand in starting in Michigan with hardcore and deathmatch wrestling, and what it has become with guys like Tommy Vendetta, MM3, Chuck Stein, and others.
First time I ever went to Detroit was for Malcolm Monroe Sr., and it was for his promotion that he ran in Detroit. It would have been 1998 or 1999. Uh, I wrestled. I wrestled Brain Damage on a show in Michigan. I think the promoter's name was Mr. Big,
Mr. Big! What a name!
and Malcolm Monroe Sr. happened to be at the show. And Mr. Big was very upset about our match because we fought out in the crowd and bled in the crowd, and he thought he was going to get in trouble for us bleeding. Um, but Malcolm Monroe Sr. said he loved it. DBA's father. He said he loved the match, so he booked us to come up, and we did a match. Brain Damage was actually known as Fortune Pain at that time.
Fortune Pain. That is, yeah. For the
And,
real ones that knew about that, yeah, right before there was a Brain Damage, there was a Fortune Pain.
and during our match that we did for Malcolm Monroe at the Lincoln Park Community Center, we wrestled each other. Had to have been late 1998, early 1999, but Brain Damage had injured his head. Marvin had injured his, fallen out of the ring and hit his head on the floor. And
Brain Damage gave himself some brain damage.
he did. So on the car ride home, his head was swelling up and he was in some pain. And he said, "I think I gave myself brain damage tonight." And
Oh,
then he stopped and he was thinking and he's like, "Brain damage, I like that." So after that night, he was no longer Fortune Pain. He became Brain Damage.
oh my God, that is a man. I gotta know that actually had to lead me into this question. Toby, you talk about wrestling 1999. I wasn't even born by then. How long you been wrestling for?
I started training in the fall of 1996 in Shelby, Ohio at the ASWA Training Center. And Kid Collins was my trainer. He was actually the first hardcore match I had too in 1998.
Oh
Uh,
hell yeah!
him and I did a series of matches called the Gore for the Gold Tour. And we did barbed wire matches and street fights. And it was my first hardcore matches.
That is so cool. That'll honestly, we'll get into dive into some of your core roots. I gotta know, Toby Klein, what made you want to become a professional wrestler, and any memory of your first wrestling match, not your first death match, your first wrestling match.
My first wrestling match ever was in March of 1997 against the Dapper Destroyer Bodacious.
What a name!
He runs wrestling shows in Dayton, Ohio. Now he trained the Christ brothers. Um, he wrestled at the ASWA, and he was in the ring with me the majority of my training. So I would say I owe a lot of my training to him as well. But he runs a promotion called Armbar Pro outside of Dayton, Ohio now.
Oh hell yeah! And then what made you want to become a professional wrestler? Go get the training.
Growing up, I was a Hulkamaniac. In 19 January of 1985, my parents took me to it was the Richfield Coliseum in Richfield, Ohio. It was where the Cleveland Cavaliers used to play. And they took me to, the main event was Hulk Hogan versus Jesse the Body Ventura. So that was my first match live, and I was hooked after that.
That is so cool. But and then what made you start doing training? Did you start in the backyard with some buddies? Did you find a local company and find the guy?
I went to the University of Toledo. I grew up in Shelby, Ohio, and I went to the University of Toledo and I tried to walk on as a football player for them in 1996. I had played high school football, and I still had it in my mind that I wanted to be a wrestler. So I came home one weekend. I wasn't at school but for a couple of weeks at this point, maybe a month. And I came home one weekend and I was walking through downtown Shelby probably September or October of 1996. And there in the middle of downtown Shelby was looked like a wrestling ring. Well, at first I thought it was a boxing ring, so I peeked my head in the door, and there were people getting in to train, and I said, "What's going on in here?" And they said that they had just moved. They had a wrestling training center, and I said, "Oh, can I take a tryout?" And they said, "Yeah, free tryouts." So I went in and took a tryout, and I quit college the next week.
And pursued the career that you're probably, I believe, if I'm correct, you recently wrestled DBA. You're still on that crazy, insane career now.
Yes, I recently in September I did the Action Dean show for AEW Ring of Honor.
Oh, okay. That I don't know whose side that was on, but we're good.
Okay, yeah, just in September I did the Action Dean show for AEW Ring of Honor, and then that was my first match in 4 years, and
Hell yeah.
it got me wanting to do it again. So October I did a match for XICW DBA. And then I just did one in Mansfield, Ohio for ASWA, the promotion where I started way back in the day. I just did a show for them in December. And I got one lined up in February 21st. IWA Deep South. I'll be doing a death match
Oh my goodness.
in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee.
The legend is making his runs. He's back in action. I assume probably just a once a month thing, from what it
February,
sounded
yeah,
like.
actually two of them in February. February 21st will be in Pigeon Forge, and February 28th will be in Chattanooga.
Oh hell yeah. Well, I also gotta know, Toby Klein, you talked earlier about you did your first hardcore matches, so now I gotta know. Tell us about your first death match that you did.
It was against Madman Pondo. It was for a promotion called Championship Wrestling. It was Pizza Joe. He would try. The promoter was named Pizza Joe.
We got Mr. Big, we got Pizza Joe.
Yeah, that was late '90s. That was probably '98
I
or
love it.
yeah. And then I wrestled same promotion. I wrestled Ian Rotten. I wrestled Pondo and Ian Rotten like within a month of each other.
Oh hell yeah.
And then Ian liked the match and wanted me to come start wrestling for him down in IWA Mid South. So by early 2000, I started doing some work with Ian's IWA Mid South, and I did that off and on for a year and a half or so. And then September of 2002 was, maybe it was even July of 2002, was Tournament of Death, the original Tournament of Death. I was Nick Gage's first opponent ever in the Tournament of Death.
Hell yeah, I do remember that. That match was absolutely like your name. It was insanity. And one of my favorite TOD matches that you had was you and Pondo with the pencil board and the Barbie doll with the tubes and the light tubes taped to the ropes. That match to me still sticks out to this day. Not just because of the pencil boards, but because that match alone was just so crazy.
It really was.
Yeah, and I also, speaking of insane, we're still keeping it on the 2000s death match here. Toby Klein, any insane memories from IWA Mid South King of the Death Matches 2005? That's a fan submitted question.
That was the year that I won the championship. Yeah, I was the
Correct.
champion that year. Mm-hmm. I went to the finals in 2004 against Corporal Robinson in the finals. I wrestled Necro in '04. I actually wrestled Necro at the '03 death match, King of the Death. And then I wrestled him again in '04. Everybody likes our '04 match better. I liked our '03 match
I
better.
like them both. They're both hard hitters.
Then '05, I won it. And then '06, I went to the finals again. So I was the first person to go to the finals 3 years in a row. And
That's pretty cool.
'06, it was me and Mitch Page in the final.
Hell yeah. But was there any crazy memories you got from the '05, the day you won the big one?
I think the finals was me and JC Bailey and maybe Necro in a three-way.
Hell yeah.
But
I will gladly fact check that for you real quick here, Toby, but I also want to know, and so do the fans. Same fan that submitted the question about Detroit wrestling earlier. He was wondering if you could talk about his travels to Detroit with Brain Damage and some of the other legends.
Deranged would always travel with me there. Homeless Jimmy would travel with me there. Uh, One time from Shelby, Ohio, so it was about a 3-hour drive. We traveled. Why we thought it was a good idea, I have no idea. But we traveled from Shelby to Detroit with a 5-foot water bong in the vehicle. The people in the back seat were able to hit it while the person in the front seat had to light it.
Oh my god! What a car ride that had to be.
Why I thought that was a good idea to keep it in the front of the vehicle, I have no idea, but we did.
Oh, I love it. And I'm looking right here. It says it finals 3-way 200 light tubes. Yourself, JC, and the Necro Butcher. So, yeah. And then you also wrestled Deranged in the semis and Corporal Robinson in the first.
I trained Deranged, if you didn't know.
I actually did not know that. That's pretty cool.
And I had a big part of Brain Damage's training, too.
Hell yeah. For the ones who don't know, two absolute legends to the scene, Deranged and Brain Damage. Sadly, Brain
That,
Damage no longer around. I believe Deranged isn't he back?
yeah, he just started wrestling again, too.
Yeah. Which is so cool to see. I love seeing people like you, Deranged. Insane Lane is back and freaking better than ever, in great shape. Freaking Necro's kicking ass everywhere he's going. It's good to see the legends still doing their thing.
A little bit of nostalgia.
Oh yeah, like watching recently at RPW, they did Lane versus Drake Younger, and it felt like 2006 again. I was watching that, I was like, God damn.
I wrestled both those guys.
Yeah, hell yeah. And then I saw live Nick Gage Masada in 2025, and I looked at my one buddy and I was like, damn, did we just travel back to like 2010? Like, it felt like that type of raw, gritty, 2000-y feeling. It felt so good.
When I went to Japan, Masada was my tag team partner
Oh, hell yeah.
for Big Japan Pro Wrestling.
I gotta, Toby, when did you go to Japan? I actually did not know that.
2005 and 2006. I went 3 times.
Oh, and what was it like back in the 2000s?
It was great. Yeah, I really had a fun time.
Hell yeah.
They treated us great. Got to travel and see the country.
Did you get
First,
a
first time
repair?
I was there. First time I was there, I went with Zach Gowen. Myself and Zach Gowen traveled together from Detroit Airport, or I think Detroit. Yeah, shoot, I went from Cleveland to Detroit. Met up with Zach. Yeah, me and him traveled together, and we stayed together.
Yeah,
Him and I stayed together most of the time over there.
that's pretty cool.
Then in 2006, it would have been me and Pondo and Masada and Tony, I think.
Now that's a group of crazy motherfuckers right there.
First time I went, there was a earthquake. I was in the hotel and the building was shaking. So I went out onto the balcony looking around, wondering what was going on.
And then you just saw it.
And then the second time I went, there was a typhoon, a hurricane. There was a typhoon. We were in Shin Yokohama, where the dojo was. And I just remember how crazy the wind and the rain was. There was nearly 12 hours of very hardcore storm.
That is insane. But I forgot to mention there's a rule here on the podcast, Toby. If Jeff the Cat is here, Jeff the Cat gets to pick the next question. And Jeff the Cat wants to know, and I believe if I'm correct, Toby, you own a company yourself. If I'm correct.
Deranged and I ran a promotion called Addicted to Wrestling.
Yes.
We ran maybe 7 shows.
All right, cool. I wanted to know what is the backstory, or at least Jeff wants to know what's the backstory behind Addicted to Wrestling A2W. And will A2W, what's the future looking like for ATW? Is there going to be a show or two coming in 2026, possibly?
I don't know. I think it's on hiatus right now with Deranged doing some matches, and then I've been doing some matches. I
Yeah.
think we've concentrated on different areas now. Um, I would I would like to think that someday there will be a reunion show or some type of attempt at it, but nothing. Don't ever say never, you know. So maybe,
Absolutely.
there were some good shows though.
Any of your favorites?
Uh, we brought Pondo in a couple times, Mickey Knuckles in. We brought Jake Kristen, DBA and his son, MM3, Josh Crane from Indianapolis,
All great talent right there.
Derek Dillinger, uh, Gigi Jacobs.
I love me some Gigi Jacobs.
Yeah, so we tried to really mix it up. We thought we had a good lineup, a good roster.
Absolutely. And we also, that was a fan submitted question. I believe this is the last fan submitted question right here, Toby Klein. Can he talk about his work he does with people with addiction?
I am a drug and alcohol counselor as my shoot job. Yeah, I've been doing that for nearly 9 years now. Well, actually, a little over 9 years now.
And it's
I'm in college. I go to Lorain County Community College for my. I'm going to have a higher licensure when I finish in May. I'll be
oh
graduating.
hell yeah.
Yeah, I'll be 13 years sober of everything in February. Since February 4th, 2013, I've taken, I don't know, maybe 6 ibuprofen. I'm not taking any cold medicine, cold flu shots,
I don't do the cold medicine either.
alcohol, weed, pills. I've not done anything but a couple of ibuprofen in 13 years.
Good for you, my friend. Holy moly.
Now, in 2012, life was spiraling quickly. When, about the time brain damage passed away, I would have very easily been the next. I was right there. I was a month away from something tragic happening, either overdose or mentally. Something terrible would have happened if I wouldn't have got sober when I did.
Mm-hmm. And then you did, and now you're here doing the thing? Who would have thought? Somebody with the name Mr. Insanity helping people out in the world? It rules.
On Monday and Tuesday every week, I do a program where I go into the jail. There's a in Mansfield, Ohio. There's a jail called the Richland County Jail, and I go in there with the inmates and I counsel them. I do a group on Mondays, a 2-hour group, and then on Tuesdays tomorrow morning I'll be in there for 3 hours individually meeting with them, counseling them.
That is so cool. Helping people out one day at a time. That rules. Well, Toby, we're going to go absolutely left field now with the questions. You did talk about, you asked me if this was a super review podcast. I honestly wish it was, but we're going to talk some food here, Toby. How do you feel about some cuisine, some grub? Are you a food guy? Are you simple?
I've I've enjoyed meals all over the world.
I love. All
Always,
right. Well, I gotta know then. Toby Klein, what's your favorite kind of sandwich?
I really like me a good Reuben.
We're going with the Reuben. Another one joins the Reuben Club. A lot of the boys, a lot of the workers Love them some Reubens. It's a great sandwich. Who doesn't like it?
Can't go wrong with peanut butter and jelly. If you're like just a quick sandwich of peanut butter and jelly sandwich,
Hell yeah.
basically anything. I'll eat any kind of lunch meat with cheese or any kind of hamburger.
Oh well, that'll lead me into this question then, Toby Klein. What is your perfect hamburger sandwich? You got access to any topping and condiment. It's all up to you what you want to put on it.
Got to put banana peppers, jalapeno peppers. Uh, Got to put some kind of hot and spicy sauce on it.
You're big. I remember you like using hot sauce as a weapon. You like your spice. I love it.
Oh yeah.
Well, I also got to know, what about perfect pizza? Same, I assume the same. A spicy sauce, some hot honey, some just
Yes.
all the spicy options.
Yep. Pineapple, ham, jalapenos.
Nothing
Yes,
beats a
but
spicy
yeah,
Hawaiian.
put pineapple on pizza.
You know what, that was originally gonna be the question for tonight, but I knew from the beginning. I was like, I feel like with the name Mr. Insanity, you gotta be a pineapple on pizza guy.
I used to do the hot food challenges. I haven't found any recently, but if I knew of a restaurant having some type of hot food and a challenge, I would do like the spicy hot wings or whatever.
I
Uh,
love that.
I've done straight up Carolina Reaper peppers. I'll eat them and record it, or chocolate Trinidad scorpions. I'll eat them plain. Uh, somebody has a pepper they want me to try. I'll do a sample. I'll try it just plain. Just take the pepper and eat it.
Hell yeah! I was about to say, you love your pepper. Have you ever made a Toby Klein Mr. Insanity hot sauce?
Actually, with who's the guy from? Who was that guy that came to ATW and made hot sauce with me? Who was that? Do you remember?
Oh, is that Steve?
Yeah, Steve.
Yeah, we love the homie Steve. I miss him.
Me and Steve made a Mr. Insanity hot sauce together for a video for one of his live videos.
Hell yeah. That's so cool. Yeah, I used to, every time I'd either watch his table or I'd just hang out with him. Steve's a great guy. And he makes damn good hot sauces, let me tell you. He had this Carver garlic sauce. It was so good. But I also got no Toby Klein doing the damn thing for over 2 decades. I gotta know, what is your favorite? Oh shit, look at this! The man has some. He had the bottle right there. I think I had all the bottles and then I lost them all. Somebody just threw them out. But yes, Toby knows what is up.
This is
The
the
GCW one.
official GCW hot sauce.
Love it.
Yeah,
It's so good.
Madman Pondo tossed this in my eyes.
Oh God. That is absolutely cool. I also got no Toby Klein. What is your favorite on the road snack and beverage combination? What are some treats that you always kept on you while you were going all up and down?
In the morning when I'm traveling, I always drink a C4 fruit punch. So the red and black cans. C4 only has a couple of 300 milligram caffeine cans. That's one of them. So I go for that as a drink. I do the lime cucumber Gatorades. That's my go-to game Gatorade. Those are hard to find, but when I find those, I stock up on them.
Oh yeah.
Um, I like Liquid Death. There's different Liquid Death drinks that I'll get.
Oh yeah, we are a big Liquid Death supporters here, Toby Klein. I was gonna save this for later, but you know what? I will open mine right now. This is just
Murder,
a nice, good old plain one.
murder your thirst.
Not a sponsor, but maybe one day. Same thing with Sunny D as well. We're trying to get a sponsorship from them. Those are the two we're aiming for, Toby. One
I,
day.
I like me some vitamin water.
And then what about snacks? Any gummy candies? Any beef jerkies? Are you a gas station pizza guy?
Hmm. I want to go to these Bucky's. I've heard of Bucky's. I'm going to go to one.
I've never been to one either.
Um, I don't know if it's the same. I think it changes. Um, like I'll get beef jerky this time, and then the next time I'll get some kind of chocolate or something.
Oh yeah, everyone's got
Like
their fixes.
I like the protein peanut butter cups. Quest makes protein peanut butter cups. I like those. I like Irving's. What's that guy's name? Ted Irving makes a protein.
Oh, Robert Irving,
Robert.
Gail Kim's husband. Yeah,
Yeah, I do the Robert Irving wafers, chocolate peanut butter wafers. I like to travel and eat those. Uh, I don't know. It's never really the same though. I switch it up.
I
If the kids
like it.
if the kids are with me, we might do beef jerky or chips, and then if I'm by myself, I'll do more of the protein stuff.
I love it. Well, we still got a couple questions left, Toby Klein. I gotta know. Any cool interests outside of pro wrestling?
Huge horror movie fan. Not just any horror movie. It has to be like the 70s, 80s. I'm starting to expand into the 90s now, but 70s and 80s, can't go wrong with any horror movies from that time period.
I like the original Omen. That's a great 70s horror movie.
Damien was the boy's name, I think.
Yes, sir.
Um, yeah. So horror movies. Um, I'm a storm chaser. I've recorded several tornadoes. Um, Whenever there's tornado possibility, I'll jump in my Jeep and go chasing the storms and
Oh, hell yeah.
record storms. So I have several documented tornadoes.
That is so cool. And then you do the counseling too?
Do drug and alcohol counseling, yes.
That is anything else?
In college currently. I've been in college for about 2.5 years now. I'll be graduating in May.
That's for hell yeah. Well, congrats to you.
After a 28-year break in college and schooling.
I love it. I mean, I want to go back, but it's like, not
I
right now.
I went to my son's basketball game this evening.
Nice. It is Mr. Insanity Jr. You love to see it.
He had 12 points tonight. He had 2 3-pointers, a layup, a couple foul shots. He had a good game.
Heck yeah. Well, we're down to the last 5 questions, Toby. I gotta know, what are some of your deathmatch wrestling no-nos? Any spots you won't do? Any weapons you won't take?
I would, when I was younger, I would go for whatever people recommended, and I wouldn't try to hesitate because you would get injured if you hesitate. If you went into it and just did it, you found that your results were probably better than if you held off or hesitated doing something.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just go ahead into whatever. If I knew ahead of time that it was not a good idea, I would refuse right from the get go. There was a scaffold with like the spider web barbed wire one time that somebody wanted me to do a fall into that, and I declined, but they wanted to do it anyways. So I said, I will gladly toss you from the top of the scaffold down to the barbed wire, and then I will climb down the scaffold and I'll meet you down there. And then there was obviously the board of pencils during the fans bring the weapon.
Oh,
And Pondo said he would take it, and I'm like, I will gladly toss you on it, but I will not fall on it with you.
and look
So,
what happened to him.
so if I
Six new assholes.
So if I did ever feel like hesitation on a spot, I would not do it. If I felt like there was a chance that I wasn't gonna be all right, then I probably would refuse to do it. And the older I get, the more I refuse to do.
Well, of course, you got to make sure you're still good for the next day, especially as you keep getting old and as time goes by, there's only so much your body can handle.
Yeah.
Well, I also got to know, Toby Klein. We never touched base on the music question yet, so I got to know if you could book your dream concert lineup, 3 to 4 bands or artists, anyone's on the table. What would the lineup be?
Pink Floyd. There's lots of them. That would be right up there. I would say Pink Floyd has the headliner spot regardless. But there's lots of bands, all generations of music, all styles of music. I will be in a weird. I'll listen to David Allan Coe for a week, and then I'll listen to Cold Chamber for a week, and then I'll listen to Radiohead, and then I'll listen to some other crazy group that somebody turns me on to. It's so random how I'll start listening to a group and play it until I'm like moved on from it. My wrestling songs over the years, I used Crazy Train by Ozzy a handful of times. I used Me Loco by Cold Chamber for quite a
Such a
long.
good song.
That was a big one for a long stretch of my career. Uh, Necro and I used Freebird by Leonard Skinner when we did the Tough Crazy Bastards. My later career, I used um, Ain't No Grave by Johnny Cash. That's the song that I would probably use now if I do a match.
I love it. Well, I also got no Toby Klein. What would be your last meal after your retirement match? So take on a podcast question.
It would be a medium rare steak with whatever sides you want to give me. I'd eat some sides with it.
Hell yeah, good. What a good baked potato. I feel like you're a mashed potato guy.
Baked potato, mashed potato, whatever. I'm not picky. Food in general. If I go somewhere and they're saying this is the food we're eating, I will eat it. I'm
Hell yeah.
not gonna turn down meals. I've had meals that probably were less than appetizing. I eat them anyways. I would be the wrong food critic because I see people that critic food and I don't. I'm just like, oh, it didn't taste too bad. Everybody's like, yeah, I didn't like whatever about the food. I'd be like, I didn't notice. It was fine. I liked it.
I love that. Well, we're down to the second to last question, Toby Klein. Now, how many years have you been wrestling again? I forgot. It was 20.
Next year I'll make 30 if I have a match next year.
Oh my goodness. So almost 3 decades in the business. I gotta know, Mr. Insanity Toby Klein. What has been the most gratifying moment of your career so far?
Mhm. I was honored to be inducted into the GCW Deathmatch Hall of Fame. That was in Atlantic City in
I
2022.
was about to say I might have been there for that one. I'd have to look.
That was quite an honor. The CZW Hall of Fame. I was inducted into that in 2018. Going to Corrigan Hall in Japan was a great moment. I actually teamed with Masada against Pondo and Tony at Corrigan Hall.
Oh hell yeah.
American
Showing
American Street Fighter, American Death Match. I forget how they called it, but that's on YouTube. Um, uh, those are some of the big ones. I had a couple of like regular wrestling matches that I felt really proud of.
Throw them in there.
I wrestled Chris Hamrick and Christopher Daniels in a three-way in Cleveland one time. Uh, Wrestled Scott Steiner a handful of times.
Good old Big Papa Pop.
There's been so many. I've forgotten some of the best ones, probably.
Just so many years, too, of just the head damage. Forgetting and all that. It's crazy.
Wrestled Maniac Matt Bourne one time, and
Oh my goodness.
I
The
wrestled.
original Doink.
Yeah, I wrestled him in Elwood City, Pennsylvania, September of 2002, and we had a really good match. He was doing a character um, called. He called himself. I think he called himself the Boogeyman. He had his face was painted, and he had a camouflage outfit on, and he had a long wig on, and he did
Oh
not look like
my.
Bourne. He was doing a character for this show, and he hung me. He took electric cord out from under the ring, and I was supposed to obviously grab it and pretend like I was dangling and choking. Well, I slipped off the apron and I couldn't get my hands around the cord, and it tightened. And I woke up. I was out for 8 minutes. Taboo was the next match, so he was by the curtain, and he saw it happen, and he ran out and pulled the cord off my neck. And I had what appeared to be a seizure. My arms and legs were flailing. I was out for 8 minutes. When I woke up, there were cops and paramedics all around me. I didn't know where I was. Micro hemorrhaging had occurred where I was able to wipe blood out of my eyes like I was crying blood. And I came into the locker room, and Matt's like, "You should have grabbed the cord, kid." I said, "Yep, I should have grabbed the cord. You're right." But yeah, that was a pretty scary incident.
That's wild. Well, god damn. Toby Klein, we've reached the last question. My favorite question. The reason we have this podcast, Toby Klein. The deathmatch community has to know. Mr. Insanity, what is your favorite kind of soup?
Hot and sour soup
Oh, that's a good
with
pick.
with chili peppers added, crushed into it.
Of course. I was expecting a spicy soup from you.
Like any Chinese buffet, you'll find the pots of hot and sour soup up there. I don't care. I'll go for any of them. Whatever buffet I'm at, I'll pick the hot and sour soup. Egg drop soup's pretty good too.
Oh, that's my favorite Chinese food soup.
Yeah.
Well,
And I would say any other soup you want to give me, I will try. If you have a soup that you like, I'll probably like it too.
hell yeah. Well, I'll have to give you some lobster bisque then the next time I see you. It's a great soup.
Seafood is great. Sushi is great. Steak is great. I'm not going to complain.
I love it. Well, Toby Klein, this is the part. We talked about the soup. Now I give you the spotlight. Plug your social medias anywhere a booker can promote you, anywhere the fans can talk to you. Anything you want to tell the fans before we wrap it up. The floor is yours, my friend.
You can find me on social media. I started a Facebook page for the first time in 13 years. I'm Toby Klein on Facebook. I do have a YouTube channel. What's my YouTube channel, Jay? Toby Klein on YouTube.
Yeah, Toby Klein.
Yeah, Toby Klein on YouTube. I think it's got numbers after it, but you can find me.
I'll make sure to plug it.
I show some of my storm chasing on YouTube, along with some wrestling. Um, I appreciate the people that like. There's been different times throughout the years where somebody will recognize me, and I always appreciate that. Uh, I can't complain. Wrestling has taken me around the world. I didn't have to pay for it. It's been a roller. It's been a roller coaster ride. It's been the best of times. It's been the worst of times. because of my own um, selfishness at different parts of my career, I nearly died. But what don't kill you makes you stronger, right? So
Absolutely.
here I am. I'm sober. I've gained fans around the world. I've been able to travel around the world. I don't know what else to say to that one.
I love it. Well, then, for Mr. Insanity, Toby Klein, I'm Dewey the Hot Dog, Deathmatch United, Soups, Death Matches, and all good things in between. And I'll catch you on the next